Lots of people wish for a vacation retreat, but Bob Wall wanted one that would eliminate the guesswork by automating everything from shutting the blinds to watering the plants, even when he wasn't there to do it.
Because I travel a lot, I wanted to be able to let people into the house. I wanted to have the house be secure. I wanted to monitor the systems that are in the house just as if I were there.
Bob wanted total control over his home high in the mountains of Telluride, Colorado. Bob is a successful technology entrepreneur. He planned his 9,000 square foot home with its glass bridge, death-defying treetop deck, and high-tech gadgets that run everything just like he runs his business. Hands-on, no nonsense, and nothing off limits.
So if you ask the architects, I think they would say that I was intensely involved in the vision of this home, perhaps a little bit more than they might have liked from time to time.
Bob definitely forced us to think outside the box.
It can snow up to 8 months a year in Telluride, a destination recognized for its great skiing. Knowing he couldn't shovel snow from halfway around the world, Bob insisted on a driveway that takes care of itself. So builders installed a heating system under the pavement to keep it snow-free. The driveway is also outfitted with sensors that alert the house and its occupants when a car is coming up the drive.
If you're in the bathroom, you can actually open the front door and let them come in. We haven't figured out yet how to make coffee for them, but give us time, we may get there as well.
Once the house lets you inside, the immense windows in the living room show off the epic view and provide enough light to keep the houseplants happy. But since Bob travels a ton, he devised his own irrigation system that doles out just the right amount of water and fertilizer each day. There was just one catch.
We were concerned that it might not turn off, and if it doesn't, would ruin wood floors, drywall, plaster. So we installed redundant solenoid valves that automatically closed the system after X number of seconds of operation.
Bob insisted that he be able to keep an eye on the home from anywhere in the world, a mandate that meant 40 miles of wiring had to be installed throughout the house.
We have cameras that allow me to look at the weather. I can actually rotate the camera around and aim it at the Telluride airport and see if planes are taking off and landing. We can check every window, whether it's open or closed, every door, whether it's open or closed. When the sun is very low and shining directly into the house, I can close the shades remotely.
Bob's tech tricks can be seen all throughout the house. With the push of a button, Bob turns his family room into his own private movie theater, complete with motorized blackout shades, a retractable screen, and a heavy-duty movie projector that knows its place.
It's cool. You have a rock on the wall, there's nothing there, and then all of a sudden this rock swings out into the room and you're watching a movie.
Bob's passion for wine meant he couldn't live without a cellar to store it in, but a run-of-the-mill wine cellar was never going to cut it. So he and Dennis decided to dig a tunnel deep underground just to house his collection. And then Bob figured, why not have some fun with it? With imitation stone walls, piped-in sounds of creaking timbers and dripping water, and authentic old wooden beams from a dismantled railway trestle, it looks just like an old Colorado mine shaft.
I wanted to have the feeling of a bunch of guys who were miners, not carpenters, and originally they built it perfectly straight, and then we went back and changed it a little bit to make it a little funkier.
Bob also threw out the rules when it came to his sauna, steam shower, and spa. He wanted to make the steam shower last longer, and he wanted his Finnish-made sauna hotter than the company programs it for Americans.
We escalated the maximum temperature to around 180 degrees, which is more like the Finns like it and more like I like it. We also then extended the time setting from 1 hour, which was the way it was programmed, to be 4 hours. I was told time and time again, if you want to seize control of the sauna and so on, you're going to have to break into it and void the warranty, and you might not want to do that. Well, that's exactly what we did. We absolutely hacked our own house system.
Upstairs in the master bath, Bob wanted a real limestone tub that will fill to a preset temperature. When he was told you can't cut jets into real limestone without cracking it, Bob did the next best thing, ordering a 5-ton block of concrete finished with Venetian plaster to look like stone. But then he realized that concrete absorbs heat.
So the smart house automatically takes water out of the tub, reheats it, puts it back in, unbeknownst to the person or persons who are in the tub, maintaining the original set temperature.
Problem solved. The cost of comfort? $70,000. Bob's big ideas just keep coming, with his insistence on having something totally epic to connect his master bedroom with an office on the other side.
I can remember mentioning in one of our meetings, gee, wouldn't it be fun if it would be glass? There was a moment of silence, maybe a couple of minutes of silence. They got their heads around that.
Not only did Bob want glass, he wanted a walkway laced with fiber optic lights to change colors. That meant tracking down an engineer who could work with tempered laminated glass.
We did find an engineer, and my question to him on safety was, what would happen if I dropped a bowling ball as I walked across the glass bridge? He said nothing. It would crack, but you wouldn't fall to the floor.
The cost of Bob's fiber optic bridge brainstorm? A dazzling $150,000. Bob picked this spot for its jaw-dropping views, which he wanted to enjoy from a massive deck that looks more like a treehouse, soaring 35 feet off the ground.
One of the most daunting challenges that I've never faced before was hiring a helicopter company to install the tree deck.
Bob put one more challenge on Dennis's full plate. Don't take out any trees in the process. It was a harrowing installation, but when that 40-foot-long deck still wasn't exciting enough for Bob's taste, he took matters into his own hands.
It was supported by 4 cables. At one angle point, Bob wanted it to sway more, so he wanted to cut the cables. I refused. Bob cut the cables to the bridge on his own so it would sway more.
Between the helicopter installation and the gas fire pit with black lava sauna rocks, the cost of the tree deck adds up to a death-defying $140,000. Bob loves that his backyard slopes right down the mountainside to a ski run, but he knew the hike back up would be a nightmare, so he had an idea that would certainly trump hoofing it. Bob decided to install a funicular like the ones they use in mountainside villages in Europe, put a Colorado spin on it.
One of the things that we wanted was not to have in this old mining community some modern-looking device, and so we constructed the funicular to look like a mining tram.
Don't let its vintage look and rusty old rails fool you. The funicular is tamper-proof, and to guard against accidents, you can only operate it from where you can see the track.
So we set up the controls so you can only operate it from the bottom or the top station, not from inside the house.
The cost of this 1-minute joyride? A quick $240,000. So what does it cost to get spectacular views and push-button convenience that can be operated from anywhere in the world, and appliances that answer to no one except the owner? The answer, coming up next.